Hello, and welcome to the session entitled Using a Consultant. My name is Michael Brown, President of Targeted Insights, a nonprofit consultancy specializing in fundraising communications and strategic development. And I'm excited to share my personal experience on things to be considered when using a consultant. The first question you may ask is, does my organization need a consultant? Since you are an NAD entity, you may first consider what PSI can provide. PSI can provide you rich learning resources from its learning library. PSI can also provide hands-on assistance in a number of areas, including planning, board training, volunteer training, and providing sample materials, and helping select a donor-based vendor for your organization. But there are times when the detailed needs of your organization or campaign may go above and beyond the bandwidth or scope of the PSI staff. And that is when considering the use of a consultant is likely to be the most beneficial. But since good consultants are costly, it may be prudent for you to carefully consider the following before engaging in a consulting relationship. Consider your needs, the quality of the consultant, and the type of consulting relationship that will be best for your organization. So let's start with what consultants can provide. Consultants usually have certain specialties in addition to providing a breadth of general services. If you are considering undertaking a capital campaign, for example, a consultant may be very helpful in assisting your organization with conducting, assessing, and properly utilizing the all-important feasibility study. Consultants are also commonly used for additional hands-on help and general tasks such as implementing campaign efforts, coordinating social media, planning and implementing direct mail, as well as creating and refining gift charts. There are other ways in which consultants may be helpful, such as when special technical experience is needed. Database report development is a perfect example. Or perhaps your organization can benefit from additional objective analysis, like considering how fundraising planning may be strengthened or ways to address a specific problem that has emerged. You may also benefit from the advice based on professional experience, especially when in-house ideas or plans have been called into question. Motivating and training campaign leadership and volunteers is another area of consideration. Strategic planning for projects and campaigns is also another area in which organizations often find it beneficial to use a consultant. And assessing your support base, which often includes assessing the health of the donor file, modeling and selecting the types of donors likely to be interested in your cause, is another area. And then, of course, segmenting donor messaging, meaning what to say to donors and how best to communicate your message, is another area in which consultants' experiences are generally beneficial to the organization. It is also prudent to consider what consultants cannot do for you. First of all, consultants do not raise money for you. They do, however, help those in your organization to raise financial support. So consultants shouldn't solicit gifts, although they can coach and accompany leadership and volunteers in doing so. Consultants also cannot rally commitment of your organizational leaders and volunteers. And perhaps to your surprise, consultants should never work on a commission or percentage basis. Although this is something prospective clients often suggest, doing so violates the ethical standards of fundraising professionals. Consultants also cannot build a constituency base for you, but will guide your organization in using proven strategies for growing constituency bases. PSI can also be of tremendous help during your consultation process. PSI manages a list of consultants with proven track records working with Adventist institutions. Engaging a consultant is an expensive venture. Fortunately, you can draw on PSI's vast exposure to consultants' fees, since fees do vary significantly across the industry. After consulting with PSI, consider doing the following. Request a formal proposal that details the consultant's expertise, the fee structures, and ask for client references. Then interview 3 or more consultants you have selected from PSI's list or those you may have gotten from trusted colleagues. Also be leery of consultants peddling things like 10 easy steps to raising money. Philanthropic fundraising has evolved over the years, and you need to ensure that your organization will be using current best practices in the field. One of the best ways to evaluate consultants is to ask great questions. Explore the consultant's credentials by asking questions about their tenure, their track record, their experience base, and their specialty. And ask consultants to describe their experience working with organizations similar to yours. Next, get a sense for how communication between the consulting firm and your organization will occur. If you engage the firm, how will the concerns be addressed as they arise? How will projects be reported upon? Will there be a written final report? What about ongoing reporting? Will there be a status meeting? What will be the frequency of status updates? What should be expected from status meetings? And will the consultant be on site? If so, how many hours per week? What are the workspace expectations? Finally, explore the contractual agreement. Can contracts be renegotiated? If needed, what is the process and the advanced notice needed in order to dissolve the contract? And what are the fee structures that the consultant will be utilizing? You will likely be spending a significant amount of time working with the consultant. To ensure that your time together is as productive and enjoyable as possible, I strongly urge you to test the chemistry of the relationship. You are likely to want a consultant that has most of it, if not all of these qualities. And it's essential that the consultant has significant faith-based experience. Although the principles of fundraising are similar between faith-based and secular philanthropic fundraising, accepted practices do sometimes vary. And the consultant should also be able to easily adapt to the cultural sensitivities of your organization. Your consulting partner needs to possess strong strategic and tactical skills. And you should expect that the consultant will do more listening than talking initially, as he or she diagnoses your particular fundraising situation. You also want a consultant to exercise the ability to look broadly at a situation and then to begin to drill down specifically in identifying and solving problems. Lastly, the consultant should be results-oriented, and establishing clear results metrics is critical for you, your organization, and the consultant. All the best as you consider using a consultant to help guide your philanthropic fundraising efforts.